From Page to Zoom, Episode 6, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
The day room in a ward at a state mental hospital somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. A spacious, clean-lined expanse, impersonal, and rather sterile. The furniture is plastic covered, the trappings are at a minimum and disciplined in disposal. There are large, high windows opening on the ground level of a green world outdoors. Formidable locked steel grills cover these windows, which are customarily left open. A door opens into the latrine. Next to this, a broom closet. There is a bulletin board, a magazine rack, a games cabinet, and on a pedestal, the patient's logbook. A locked door leads to the hallway. Another door, unlocked, to the dormitory. The nurse's station is a large booth, somewhat elevated. It has sliding glass panels through which the charge nurse may keep all the room under scrutiny. It is always kept locked. Through the glass may be seen drug cabinets set in the wall. Nurses sit at a desk facing the room. On this desk, a telephone and a microphone, and to one side, a tape recorder. These latter two feed into speakers set in the walls or ceilings of a day room. Mounted on the wall, behind the desk, there is an array of switches, dials, toggles, and knobs through which the nurses, with godlike power, can monitor lights, sound, TV, etc. At the foot of the station, there is a gray steel oblong, perhaps 3 feet long. This is the panel, which houses the transformers, relays, and electrical cables feeding into the station. It has a squat, British look, disguised by cushions which allow it to be used as a bench. There is a TV set kept out of the way when not in use. The arrangement of tables and chairs is flexible. At rise. The stage is dark, but for a single shaft of light on Chief Bromden. He is a huge, bull-muscled Indian who stands 6.5 feet, but when people are about, carries himself like a small man. Head cocked, he is listening. Vague and milky-like patterns wreath and intertwine across the stage. There comes the soft, puissant thunder of machinery and contrapuntially the pinging rhythm of electronic music. Behind the glass of the darkened nurse's station, colored lights pulse and dance accompaniment.
You heard, Papa? The Black Machine. They got it going 18 stories down below the ground. They're putting people in one end and out comes what they want. The way they do it, Papa. Each night they tip the world on its side. Everybody loose goes rattling to the bottom. They hook them by the heels and they hang them up and cut them open. Only by that time they got no innards. Just some beat up gears and stuff, and all they bleed is rust. You think I'm raving because it sounds too awful to be true, but my God, there's such a lot of things that's true, even if it never really happened.
A bell rings. The sounds and dancing light are gone, and the stage lights up with the effect almost of an explosion. Whistling is heard from off as the aides approach. Chief Bromden freezes into the catatonic state. A key hits the lock, and aides Warren and Williams enter, their rubber-soled shoes making no sound. They wear starched and spotless white uniforms, and they lope in tandem or abreast like a team of splendid Leith panthers.
Well, here's the chief, the super chief, old deep and dumb. Had his breakfast and ran to go. Oh, look at him. Look at him, little shaggy. Big enough to eat apples off my head like he's scared like a baby. What you want, baby? Yo, broom. That's it. He want his broom. Yeah, old Chief Broom. That's it, baby. That's a good loony. Start sweeping, baby. Old Broom Brompton. Old Chief Broom.
If you don't mind, boys, I don't think it's wise to group up and stand around like that. Mean old Monday morning. You know, such a lot to get done.
Yeah, Miss Ratchet.
That's fine, boys. Warren, you might start by getting poor Mr. Bromden shaved, and Williams, you have dormitory duty, don't you?
Yeah, Miss Ratchet.
That's just fine.
Williams disappears into the dormitory, and Warren plucks the broom from Chief Bromden and tows him toward the latrine.
Good morning, Miss Ratchet. I'm sorry I'm late, but I went to midnight mass and then I overslept and...
Never mind. We best get started, hadn't we? Medication. All patients to the day room. Medication. Good morning, Mr. Harding.
Are you sure? Dear Lord, for the tranquility we're about to receive, we thank thee.
Billy, dear, I spoke to your mother last night. I had to tell her.
What did you say?
That you were very sorry and promised not to try it again.
Thank you, Miss Ratchet.
Drink it all, dear. Good morning, Mr. Scanlon, Mr. Cheswick.
Scanlon, a man nearly bald in his 50s, stalks across to a table without answering. He sets down a box he is carrying, pulls up a chair, and starts working with tools inside the box. Charles Cheswick is short, chubby, crew-cut, his manner alternatively truculent and cringing.
What's shaking, honey? What are these?
Medication.
Christ. Can I see that? What kind?
Just swallow him, Mr. Cheswick. Just
Don't
for
give me
me.
Hey, don't give me that crap. All I want to know is, for the love of God.
It's all right, Charles.
What do you mean? It's all right.
You don't have to take them.
But that's what I mean. I mean, you just shoving the old shit at a man, and that's okay then?
He takes the pills and water and downs them without further fuss. Martini, a little Italian, bounds into the room, eager and bright-eyed, dashes into the latrine, immediately reappears.
Good morning, Mr. Martini.
Morning.
He goes to Nurse Flynn and downs his pills. Then, as Cheswick has done, he joins Harding and Billy at the card table. Ruckley enters, herded by Williams, shambles across stage. A once powerful body now undirected by intelligence, blank-faced and empty-eyed, with shaven skull.
Mr. Ruckley.
Fuck them all.
He backs into the wall as though yanked by a rubber rope and freezes there, crucified.
Williams, we've had a new admission today. I'd like you to meet him at receiving.
Yeah, Miss Ratchet.
Miss Flynn, I'll be in the staff room. Behave yourself, boys.
Behave yourself, boys. What choice we got?
The latrine bursts open and Chief Bromden comes floundering out in a flight from Warren, who pursues, brandishing an electric shaver with its long cord dangling.
Come back here, you damn redskin. Don't like this, huh? Can't say I like that look in your eye. Yeah, that's something better.
Nurse Flynn is crossed with a medical tray to Scanlon and now sets it down on his table.
Hey, look out there.
No.
Sweet thing. You want some help?
I don't need any, thank you.
Warren exits, laughing. Nurse Flynn retrieves her tray and retreats to the safety of the nurse's station.
It's your deal, Martini.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Hey, cut it out.
What's the matter?
Hey, there's nobody there.
Are you sure?
There's only 4 of us.
Okay.
Martini, will you, for God's sake, stop hallucinating? Oh, give me the cards.
What's funny?
That mousy little nurse. Reminds me of the first time I saw a girl take her clothes off. I mean, I was 8, and I was sitting up there in a tree, just looking through the bedroom window. And the time she got down to her little panties, I got to shaking. I fell out of the frickin' tree.
Billy stands up and goes to the logbook.
That's it, Billy. Write it down.
Well, we're supposed to.
Sure, get a gold star by your name.
You write down everything I say.
Yeah, and I'm gonna write down some things you did.
Shut up, you two.
Fuck them all.
Oh, for heaven's sake, this place is a madhouse. Fellow psychopaths, as presidents of the Patients Council, I, Dale Harding, do hereby decree 10 seconds of blessed, therapeutic silence.
Buddy, you are so wrong. I don't have to do this, and I don't have to do that, and get the hell away from me, or I will take in. Good morning, buddies. Mighty nice fall day. Damn, what a sorry-looking bunch.
Now see here, mister.
Get away from me, boy. Get me a minute to look my new home over, will you? Hell, I've never been in an institute of psychology before. Name's McMurphy, buddies. R.P. McMurphy, and I am a gambling fool. What's this you're playing? Pinochle? Just saying you got a straight deck around here? Well, so here we go. I brought along my own just in case. Every card a picture. And check those pictures, huh? 52 positions, boys. Everyone different. Easy now. Don't smudge them. We got lots of time, lots of games. You see, buddies, what happened was I got in a couple of hassles down at the work farm, and the court ruled that I'm a psychopath. And do you think I'm going to argue with the court? You can bet your bottom dollar I don't. If it gets me out of these damn pea fields, I'll do whatever the little heart desires. Be it psychopath, a mad dog, a werewolf, because I don't care if I never see another weeding hoe to my dying day. Will you get the fuck away from me?
Mister, we got rules. I got to take your temperature, and I got to get you showered.
All you got to do is let me get acquainted with my new buddies here. And if you do one thing more...
All right, fella. You're asking for it. You're going to get it.
That's a whole deal better. Now we can get something settled. Okay, would you use the bull goose loony? I'm asking, who's the bull goose loony?
Well, it's not me, mister. I'm not the bull goose loony. Although you could say I'm next in the line for the job.
Well, buddy, I'm truly glad you're next in the line for the job. But since I'm thinking of taking over this whole shebang, maybe better take me to your leader.
Mr. Harding, you're president of the Patients Council.
Does this gentleman have an appointment?
Do you have an appointment, Mr. McMurphy? Mr. Harding's a busy man.
This busy man Harding, is he the bull goose loony?
That's right.
Well, you tell bull goose loony Harding that R.P. McMurphy is waiting to see him, and this nut house ain't big enough for the two of us. You tell him either he meets me man to man, or he's a yellow skunk and better be out of town by sunset.
Billy, you tell this upstart McMurphy that I'll meet him in the main hall at high noon, and we'll settle this affair once and for all, with libidos ablazing.
Billy, you tell him that R.P. McMurphy is used to being top man in every situation, so if he's bound to be a loony, he figures to be the stomp-down, dadgum biggest one of all. There! By God, and we ain't spilled a drop of blood. Now, who's the rest of these fellas?
Well, On this side of the room, we're the acutes.
What's acute about you?
That means we are presumably curable. Over there, the chronics, a walker and a vegetable.
And they ain't curable? What the hell? Hi, buddy. R.P. McMurphy. How you do? Randall P. McMurphy.
Got any cigarettes?
Nothing but. Get it? Buddy, how are you?
Careful!
What's that you're making?
A bomb to blow up the whole stinking world.
Oh, man, you got competition. Buddy, my name is R.P. McMurphy, and I don't like to see a grown man sloshing around in his own water. Now, why don't you go get dried up?
Pull the nails out.
Oh, sure.
Fuck them all!
What do we got here?
That's Chief Bromden.
What's your story, Big Chief?
He can't hear you. He's deaf and dumb.
What they got him strapped down for? I don't like that, no, sir. It just ain't dignified. See, you get your full growth, you're going to be pretty good-sized. What tribe is he?
I don't know. He was here when it came.
According to the doctor, he's a Columbia River Indian, one of those who lived up on the waterfalls. But I believe the tribe is now defunct.
That right, Chief? You defunct?
He can't hear a word you say.
Nurse Ratched has entered, followed by Williams. Warren comes out of the station and joins them.
Mr. McMurphy,
Howdy, ma'am.
I'll take that. Aide Williams tells me you were being difficult.
Me?
I understand you refused to take your admission shower.
Well, as to that, ma'am, they showered me at the courthouse and last night at the jail. And I swear they'd have washed my ears for me on the way over if they could have found the facilities.
That's quite amusing, Mr. McMurphy. But you must realize that our policies are engineered for your cure, which means cooperation.
Ma'am, I'll cooperate from hell to Thursday, but you wouldn't want me to be unpolite. I mean, I had to get acquainted with my new buddies.
Please understand, I do appreciate the way you've taken it upon yourself to orient with the other patients. But everything in its own time. You must follow the rules.
You know, ma'am, that is the exact thing somebody always tells me about the rules. Just when I'm thinking of breaking every one of them.
Lights down fast, but for a shaft on Chief Bromden. The stage does not go completely dark, but is covered by moving projections. Bizarre, intertwining patterns through which people move, slowly, as in a dream, to the positions they'll occupy when Chief has finished speaking. Nurse Ratched and Williams go into the station while Warren exits. Scanlon pulls up a stool to the card table and McMurphy sits on the back of a chair.
You're on mute, Tim.
New admission, Papa. Now they gotta fix him with controls. They got wires running to each man and units planted in our heads. There's magnets in the floor so we can walk no way but what they want. We got stone brains, cast iron guts, and copper where they took away our nerves. We got cogwheels in our bellies and a welded grin. And every time they throw a switch, it turns us on or off. They got a network clear across the land. Factories like this. We're fixing up mistakes they made outside. The Combine, Papa. Big, big, big. Oh yes, there is too such a thing. They got me way back ago, the way they got to you.
Lights to full on the day room. Music up simultaneously. It's miserable stuff coming from the wall speakers. In the station, Nurse Ratched has replaced Nurse Flynn and is penciling notes in files. At the card table, McMurphy is dealing blackjack to Harding, Cheswick, Billy, Scanlon, and Martini. His cap is tiled forward until he has to lean back to see the cards. He holds a cigarette in his teeth and talks around it. His lingo sings like a pitchman's chant.
Hey, come on, suckers. You hit or you sit. Hit, you say? Well, well, well. And with the king up, the boy wants a hit. What do you know? So coming at you too bad. Little lady for the lad, and he's over the wall and down the road, up the hill and dropped his load. Coming at you, Mr. Scanlon. And I wish some asshole in that nurse's hothouse would turn down that mother-loving music. Woo-hoo-wee! I've never heard such a driving racket in my life.
Yes.
Would you mind switching off that goddamn noise?
Yes, Mr. McMurphy.
Yes. What?
Yes, I would mind. Music is considered therapeutic.
What in the hell is therapeutic about Lawrence Welk?
Please don't lean on the glass. It makes finger bumps.
Horse manure.
Oh, Mr. McMurphy, I should mention, we have a rule against gambling.
We're just playing for cigarettes.
Are you sure those cigarettes don't represent something else?
Yeah, a hell of a lot of smoke. You know, these girls ought to laugh it up a little. Listen, that was a good thing she brought up. How about we sweeten the game?
Where would we get money?
Stop kidding. I found out a few things about this place before I got sent over. Damn near half you boys in here pull compensation. $300-400 a month. And it don't draw nothing but dust. So all you got to do is sign some IOUs.
It's all right with me.
Say each cigarette's worth a quarter.
Okay.
Run 'em.
Here we go.
Don't forget, Mr. McMurphy, no gambling for money.
Say, is that a two-way system?
No, but Miss Ratchet is a human radio.
Is, huh? Well, I just may have to pull a plug. All right, Professor. There you sit with a deuce shown, and here's a pack of Marlboros, so you back down. Now what?
Group meeting. Time for a group meeting.
The men get up quickly. The table is snatched from under McMurray's elbows, and chairs are arranged in a semicircle.
What's going on?
Group therapy. Every day this time.
McMurphy wanders around puzzled. The acutes take their places. Nurse Ratched flips a couple of switches in the station as though setting it on automatic pilot, picks up her wicker basket and goes to take a long logbook from its stand, then seats herself left of center, leaving the center chair vacant.
Mr. McMurphy, would you like to join us? Now then, would anyone like to begin?
I guess I ought to talk about this. There was an account on my mother. Every time she comes to visit, it leaves me feeling just awful.
Your mother loves you, Billy.
Billy, darling. Billy, baby.
I know. That's the trouble. I'm such a disappointment to her, but she won't admit it. She won't see me like I am. I say to her, Mama, I'm not right in the head. I can't even talk straight. But she goes right on, and pretty soon I want to kill myself. So I try.
Is it possible that you may be trying to punish her?
Sure, it's possible. Miss Ratchet, couldn't we talk about something else today?
You really ought to face it, Billy. Very well. At the close of Friday's meeting, we were discussing Mr. Harding's young wife. The fact that she is extremely well endowed in the bosom. Does anyone care to touch upon this further?
Touch upon what?
The subject.
Oh, I thought you meant touch upon her.
To continue. According to the notes entered by various patients in the logbook. Good afternoon, Doctor.
Sorry.
Yes, we were talking about Mr. Harding's relations with his wife.
Whose wife? Oh, yeah, I see her.
Yeah.
Mamma mia, una pupa, la figura d'una dia, ma fa ringare.
I wouldn't give for that man's eyes.
Dr. Spivey has awakened from his stupor and is staring at McMurphy. He puts on his glasses for a better look, takes them off, and turns to Nurse Ratched, who calmly extracts a folder from her basket and opens it.
McMurphy Randall Patrick, committed by the state for diagnosis and possible treatment. 35 years old, never married. A history of drunkenness, assault, and battery, disturbing the peace, repeated gambling, one arrest for rape.
Statutory.
With a child of 15.
Said she was 17, and she was plenty willing.
A court doctor's examination of the child.
Doc, she was so willing. I took the padlock in my pants.
Our new admission, Doctor.
McMurphy obligingly takes the folder from her and passes it to Dr. Spivey, who puts on his glasses and starts reading. In the silence, Dr. Spivey clucks disapprovingly, chuckles at a spicy bit, whistles incredulously, and generally runs through a repertoire of reactions as McMurphy beams on him. He looks up to find all eyes on him.
It seems you've no previous history. Any time spent in any other institutions?
Well, sir, including state and country coolers.
Mental institutions?
No. This is my first trip, but I am crazy. I swear it. Here, let me show you. That other doctor at the work farm? Yeah, here it is. Repeated outbreaks of passion that suggest the possible diagnosis of psychopath. Well, he explained it, Doc. Psychopath means that I fight and fuck. Oh, excuse me. How did he put it? I'm overzealous in my sexual relations. Doc, is that real serious? I mean, you ever been troubled by it?
No, Mr. McMurphy. I'll admit I haven't.
Well, that bit about fighting, I can't understand, but who ever heard of a man getting too much boozled?
I am interested in this statement. Don't overlook the possibilities that this man might be feigning psychosis to escape the drudgery of the work farm. Well, Mr. McMurphy, what about that?
Do I look like a sane man?
Perhaps, Doctor, you should advise Mr. McMurphy on the protocol of these meetings.
Yes. One of the first rules is that the patient remain seated.
Sure, Doc.
You see, we operate on the principle of the therapeutic community.
The which?
Therapeutic community. That means this ward is society in miniature. Our goal here is and since society decides who is sane and who isn't, you must measure up. Our goal here is to completely democratic ward governed by the patients, working to restore you to the outside. The important thing is to let nothing fester inside. Talk, discuss, confess. If you hear another patient say something of significance, write it down in the logbook and for us all to see. Do you know what this procedure is called?
Really?
Group therapy. Help yourself and your friends probe the secrets of the subconscious. Bring those old guilts out into the open.
What guilts?
Oh, you have them, or you wouldn't be here.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm beginning to know.
Interesting.
I like this dream I had the other night. Could you maybe tell me what it means? You see, it was like me in the dream. But then again, it wasn't me. I mean, I'm more like somebody that looked like me, like my dad.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's who it was. He was my daddy for sure. Because when I saw him, he had this big iron bolt through his jawbone like Daddy used to have.
Your father had an iron bolt through his jawbone?
Regular Frankenstein.
Oh, fascinating. I don't believe I've heard of
I may suggest, Doctor, Mr. McMurphy might learn best by example. According to the notes entered by various patients in the logbook, Mr. Harding has stated that he was uneasy when walking with his wife on the street because of the manner in which other men stared at her. He has further said, quote,
"She damn well gives them reason to stare," unquote.
Yes. He has also been heard to say that he may give her reason to seek sexual attention elsewhere. What reason, Dale?
Well, I can't say that I've been notably ardent.
Do you mean sexually inadequate?
Maybe she's just plain too hot for him. Isn't that it, Harding?
I'll bet he's afraid of her.
Not afraid.
Okay, scared.
It might be fair to say intimidated.
Same thing.
I see Mr. Harding has also stated that his wife's ample bosom gives him a feeling of inferiority.
So why does he marry a broad with such big knockers to begin with?
That he's got a mother fixation.
I bet he was never weaned.
That's not so. I wanted a womanly woman. One who would not compete, but who might help me to...
She has commented, Dale, that she finds you less than masculine.
Yeah, like the way you use your hands. How about it, Harding?
You chose a woman who's quite obviously your inferior. Don't you find significance in that?
Yes, of course. But I theorized. It seemed to me, sexually at least.
Yeah. You're always saying she's such a good lay.
Yeah, what happens in the sack?
Complete psychic impotence. Oh, damn, why do I always cry?
Say, Harding, wouldn't it be a lot easier if you just come and admit you're a faggot?
All right, knock it off.
Mr. McMurphy?
Leave the guy alone.
Sit down.
Listen, buddy. You don't have to take this shit.
Doctor, I suggest we close the meeting.
Oh?
Close it until discipline has improved.
Dr. Spivey obediently rises and makes his exit. Nurse Ratched gathers up her paraphernalia, restores the logbook to its podium, and exits also. There is silence among the men and a subtle sense of shame at once again having betrayed one of their number. Harding remains seated. His cheeks are knotted, and he hums a shapeless tune. McMurphy straddles a chair facing him.
Say, buddy, is this the way these little meetings usually go? Bunch of chickens at a pecking party?
Pecking party? I haven't the faintest notion what you're talking about.
Well, I'll just explain it. The flock gets sights of a speck of blood on some chicken, and they all go pecking at it, see? Till there's nothing left but blood and bones and feathers. But usually, a couple of the flock get spotted in the fracas, then it's their turn.
Pecking party. That certainly is a pleasant analogy, my friend.
That's right, my friend, and that's exactly what that meeting reminded me.
And that makes me the chicken with the spot of blood, eh, friend?
That's right, friend. And you want to know who picks the first peck? It's that old nurse. That's who.
So it's as simple as that. As stupidly simple as that. You're on our ward 6 hours, and you've already simplified the work of Freud, Jung, and Maxwell Jones and summed up in one analogy. It's a pecking party.
I'm not talking about Fred Young and who's this Jones buddy. I'm talking about that crummy meeting and what that nurse did to you.
Did to me?
In spades.
Why, this is incredible. You completely disregard the fact that everything she did was for my benefit.
Horse apples.
I'm disappointed in you, my friend. I had judged you were more intelligent, but it's evident I made a mistake.
Hell with you, buddy.
Oh, yes. I also noticed your primitive brutality. Psychopath with definite sadistic tendencies, probably motivated by unreasoning egomania. And those talents certainly qualify you as a therapist, my friend. Oh, yes. They render you quite capable of criticizing Miss Ratchet, although she's a highly regarded psychiatric nurse with 20 years' experience in the field. But you, no doubt, with your talent, could work subconscious miracles, soothe the aching id, and heal the wounded superego. You could probably cure the whole ward, vegetables and all, in 6 months. Ladies and gentlemen, or your money back.
Are you telling me that this crap that went on today is doing some kind of good?
Why else would we subject ourselves to it? Miss Ratchet may be a very strict lady, but she is not some kind of monster chicken pecking our eyes out.
No, buddy. She ain't pecking at your eyes. She is aiming right square at the family jewels.
Miss Ratchet? Why, she's like a mother, a tender mother.
Don't give me that tender mother crap. She's a ball cutter from way back.
Why, see here, my friend, my psychopathic sidekick. Miss Ratchet is a veritable angel of mercy, and why, everybody knows it. She's unselfish as the wind, toiling thanklessly for the good of all, day after day, 7 days a week. Why, she has no life, no husband, nothing but her work, and everybody knows it. Do you think she enjoys being stern with us, asking those questions, probing our subconscious till it hurts? Oh no, my egomaniac buddy. She is dedicated. She gives every bit of herself. She desires nothing more on earth than to see us walk out of here adjusted and capable once more of coping with life. So you're wrong, I assure you. Our Miss Ratchet is the kindest, sweetest, most benevolent woman I have ever. Oh, the bitch. The bitch.
The men are silent. Harding fumbles for a cigarette. McMurphy takes it from him and lights it.
You're right about all of it.
Okay, why don't you do something about it?
Why? Because the world belongs to the strong, my friend. The rabbit recognizes the strength of the wolf, so he digs holes and he hides when the wolf is about. He doesn't challenge the wolf to combat. Mr. McMurphy, my friend, I'm not a chicken. I'm a rabbit. All of us here. Rabbits. Billy, hop around for Mr. McMurphy here. Cheswick, show him how furry you are. Oh, they're bashful. Isn't that sweet?
Shut your mouth!
All right, friend. What would you have us do?
Raise Jack. Tell her to go to hell.
Try it, buddy. They'll ship you right up to Disturbed.
Or down to the shock shop.
Which?
Electroshock therapy, my friend. A device which combines the best features of the sleeping pill, the electric chair, and the torture rack.
You kidding me?
Hell no.
They strap you to a table. You are touched on each side of the head with wires. Zap! Punishment and therapy in one shocking package. Chief Broom there, he's had it 200 times.
What about that little fart of a doctor?
Oh, she requires his approval, but that's a formality. He's got 200 patients, a bleeding ulcer, and no desire to make waves. What's the trouble, friend? Losing your revolutionary spirit?
What about this Democratic ward stuff? Well, why don't you take a vote?
What, vote?
That the big nurse can't ask us any more questions?
Can't look at us in a certain way.
Can't send us to the shock shop.
Tell us, friend, what shall we vote?
Hell, anything! Don't you see you gotta do something to show you still got balls? You say the chief is scared, but look at you guys. I never saw a scared-looking bunch in my life.
I am not.
McMurphy turns to stare at him. Cheswick sits down.
Well, no skin off my ass.
How true.
And I sure wouldn't want some old friend of a nurse after me with 3,000 volts.
Naturally.
So what the hell?
Welcome to the club.
You say she can't do nothing unless she gets your goat?
That's right.
Unless she makes you crack up some way, like busting her nose or cussing her out.
You'd be safe as long as you kept your temper.
Okay, all right. You birds think you got the champ here? Well, how'd you like to put some money on it?
On what?
That I can get the best of her.
You propose to make a wager on that?
I'm wagering that I can put a burr up that nurse's butt within a week. That I can bug her so she comes apart and them neat little scenes and shows you guys she ain't unbeatable. 1 week, boys. And if I ain't got her where she don't know whether to shit or go blind, the money's yours.
Oh boy.
Who's got $10 they want to lose? Come on. Come on, buddies. Hit it or sit.
Mr. McMurphy, this deserves odds. $20 to your 10 that you can't do it.
Hey, sit right up. Spin on the wheel. Turn on the card. It's the battle of the century. 1 week, 7 days. No holds barred. Rory McMurphy versus the big nurse to a knockout, decision, or draw. 2-1 is the odds, boys. Get your money down. Hey.
I bet $5.
5 for the Roadrunner.
Nurse Ratched enters.
Gentlemen, it's time for occupational therapy. Mr. McMurphy, what was that activity?
Oh, we're just playing a little game.
You're sure it's not some form of gambling?
Good heavens, no, ma'am. Gambling. Hell, this is a sure thing.
He exits as the lights dim down fast, but for a single shaft on the chief. Monitor lights in the nurse's station shift their pattern to accompaniment of electronic tonal buzzes.
They got the place on automatic pilot for the night. It's in the night they do things to us they want. Things too horrible for the day. And if the night ain't long enough, they slow it down. Oh yes, Papa, it's a fact. They got fake time they can speed up or slow down. I've seen 3 months go by once in an hour. I've seen 3 days go by like this.
A finger snap, a cheerful whistling is heard from the dormitory. Swiftly, the nightmare circuitry and sound fade out and lights bounce up to the normal night. As the chief kneels by his rocking chair, McMurphy comes trotting in, barefoot, wearing only his denim pants and cap. He looks about, spies his pornographic deck of cards, snatches it up.
Hey, babies don't want to lose you. Hey, Chief, sack time. What you doing? Holy key rice! About 10,000 pieces of gum. This is where you stash it, Chief? Wait a minute. We can do better than that. Juicy fruit, okay? There you are, Injun. Put a nice fresh taste in your mouth. Somebody coming? You know, Chief, when I hollered, you sure did jump. I thought somebody told me you was deaf.
Lights to full on a day room empty. It is morning. Aides Warren and Williams enter. They carry cleaning and polishing utensils and a bucket of powdered soap. They set down their materials and go to work on glass and baseboards.
Finger marks and smooches. There's scuffs all over the place. Big nurse see this? She raised hand for sure. She beat us with that big brown bag. Why don't we just beat it back? Go on, man. Yeah, first we slug her with this can, get it down, prise open the mouth. William stuffed the whole damn mess inside. Ram it to the bottom with a mop.
They stomped the imaginary big nurse to death.
Your horses are hungry, that's what she did say. Come sit down beside me and feed them some hay. Morning, boys! My horses ain't hungry, they don't eat your hay, so fare thee well, darling. I'm gone on my way. Hey there, old buddy, what's the chance of getting some toothpaste for my grinders?
We don't open the cabinet until 6:45.
There where it is, locked in the cabinet?
That's right.
Well. Now, why don't you reckon they keep the toothpaste locked up? I mean, it ain't like it's dangerous.
War policy, that's the reason.
War policy? Now, why?
Well, what do you suppose it'd be like if everybody was to brush their teeth whenever they took the notion?
I think I see what you're driving at. War policy is for them that can't brush after every meal.
My God, don't you see?
Yeah, I think I do now. You're saying people be brushing their teeth whenever the spirit moved them.
That's right. Why?
And Lord, can you imagine teeth being brushed at 6:30, 6:20, maybe even 6 o'clock in the morning?
Come on, Williams. We got work to do.
Hey, wait. What do we have here?
Where?
What's stuff in this old can?
That's the soap powder.
Well, I generally use paste. We'll look into that ward policy shit later.
There, damn you. Get working. Don't be gawking around here like some big useless cow. Move.
The chief is propelled into his automatic motion. Nurse Ratchet enters, starts to unlock the station, freezes as she hears an alien sound.
Oh, your patients don't like me. They say I'm too poor. They say I'm not worthy to enter your door. Hard living's my pleasure. My money's my own. And them don't like me. They can leave me alone. Good morning, Miss Ratchet. How's things on the outside?
You can't run around here in a towel.
Towel against ward policy too? Okay, I'll just...
Stop! Don't you dare! You get back in there and put your clothes on this instant.
The men have entered and are watching. McMurphy hangs his head like he's about to cry.
Oh, I can't do that, ma'am. I'm afraid some thief in the night boosted my clothes.
Boosted? That outfit was supposed to be picked up, to be laundered. Williams?
Mr. Warren got laundry duty.
Warren, come here. Couldn't you see this man has nothing on but a towel?
And my cap.
Well?
He got up too early.
Got up too early. You'll get his clothing this instant, Mr. Warren, or spend the next 2 weeks on geriatrics cleaning bedpans. And you, get rid of that towel at once.
Certainly. Ain't they some shit? It was a present from a co-ed at Oregon State. She said it was some kind of symbol.
Nurse Flynn enters and McMurphy pounces on her. Nurse Flynn screams and runs for the station.
Very well, Mr. McMurphy. If you've finished showing off your manly physique, I think you better go get dressed.
Delighted. She took me to a parlor and told me it's the fan and whispered low in her mom's ear, I like the gambling man.
Haven't you anything better to do than stand around and gape? I want this room spotless. Gentlemen, hadn't you better get dressed?
Lights down fast, but for a single shaft on the chief as he stands holding his broom.
I remember one Christmas, Papa, here at the hospital. It was right at midnight. There was a big wind. The door blows open. Whoosh! Here comes a fat man, all dressed in red with a big white beard and mustache. Ho, 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 he says. Like to stay, but I must be hurrying along. Very tight schedule, you know. Well, the aides jumped him and pinned him down with their flashlights and gave him a tranquilizer and sent him right on up to Disturbed. They kept him 6 years, Papa. When they let him go, he was clean shaved and skinny as a pole.
Lose the Chief lights up on the day room. Warren is entering the station as Nurse Ratched comes out. Group meeting, formation. All present except McMurphy and Dr. Spivey.
Now, boys, before we open the meeting, I thought we might have a little discussion. Informal, you know. On the subject of patient McMurphy.
Hey, where is McMurphy?
I suggested this would be a good time for us to interview with Mr. Spivey. We're not going to make any decisions. You understand, I just don't think he should be allowed to go on upsetting the other patients.
I ain't upset.
Near my.
You may not realize you are. However,
From off, happy chortling and sounds of male good fellowship as the ward door opens and Dr. Spivey and McMurphy enter. McMurphy has an arm about the doctor's shoulder, and they are very chummy. In fact, McMurphy takes doctor's key to unlock the door.
Right, Doc? What do you think?
Oh, it's a charming notion.
Real blast.
Doctor, we have a meeting in progress.
Oh, sorry. Go right ahead.
Yes, we were considering the matter of morale.
Why, that's exactly what we were talking about. And I made the suggestion. Or was it you?
No, it was your idea.
I suggested, well, what would you think if we were to have a carnival?
A carnival?
Right here on the ward. Wouldn't it be fun? There would be games, booths, decorations. What do you think, men?
Oh, I think it's a good idea.
And not without therapeutic value.
Hell, yes, lots of therapeutics in a carnival.
Scanlon could do with his human bomb act. I could make ring toss and occupational therapy.
Myself, I'd be glad to run a skittle weed. Hey, step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Try your luck. A bonanza for a dime, a prize at every spin of the wheel.
Oh, fine.
I could sell things.
I'm rather good at palm readings.
Fine. What do you think, Miss Ratched? A carnival here on the ward?
I agree it might have therapeutic possibilities. But of course it must be discussed in staff before a decision can be reached. Wasn't that your intention, Doctor?
Yes, of course. I just thought feeling out some patience, but a staff meeting, certainly.
Also, Doctor, I recommend that Mr. McMurphy's request for a visitor, as he puts it, a twitch named Candy Star, be denied until he becomes more familiar with the rules in this ward.
Mr. McMurphy showed me his request in my office, and I figured, he's been here a week already. I signed it.
McMurphy and Billy share McMurphy's triumph. The chief has put the broom back in his closet.
I see. Very well. Billy Bibbit and his speech problem. Can you recall, Billy, when you first had speech difficulties? When did you begin to stutter?
The very first word I said, I stuttered. Mama. And when I proposed to a girl, I loved it. I said, honey, will you marry me? Till she broke out laughing.
Your mother's spoken to me about this girl, Billy. Apparently she was quite a bit beneath you. Was it that which frightened you?
No.
Then what was the matter?
I was in love with her.
Let me quote from your mother, Billy. She was a designing little slut who only wanted to marry my Billy because...
No! She was a lovely girl that...
Hey, I got something to take up.
If you wish to speak, you must first be recognized.
You mean you don't know me?
I know you, but I don't recognize you.
Say, you got a hell of a problem. Would you like to discuss it?
Doctor, I wonder if we shouldn't discuss Mr. McMurphy?
In what respect?
I have observed a definite deterioration of discipline since he arrived. Perhaps another form of therapy?
What you got in mind? Hooking me up to your little battery charger?
For your own good, Randall.
In a pig's gizzard!
I must say, nurse, I agree with patient McMurphy. I find him quite lucid, quite in touch, despite his past record. He has exhibited no tendencies towards violence. So I must conclude that electroshock therapy is not indicated.
Very well. If there's nothing further...
Doc, I got a little matter.
Doctor, I think you should point out that the purpose of these meetings is therapy, and that these petty grievances...
Petty? You call the World Series petty?
The World Series?
Sure, Doc, it starts Friday, that big games. And you got this rule about looking at TV only at night. Okay, let's change it to the afternoon.
For therapeutic reasons?
Therapeutic is all hell!
Or were you hoping perhaps to make bets on the game?
How about it, guys? Don't you want to watch the series? Cheswick?
Why not?
Scanlon?
I don't know, Mac.
Mr. Scanlon, as I recall, you refused to eat for 3 days until we allowed you to turn on the set at 6 instead of 6:30.
A man needs to see the news, don't he? God, he could have bummed us clear to hell and it'd be a week before we knew.
You saying there anything therapeutic about the news?
Well, maybe they won't bomb us this week.
Yeah, boy, let's take a vote. All those in favor, raise your hands. Hey, what is this crap? I thought you guys could vote on stuff like this. Ain't that right, Doc? Okay, then. Who wants to watch those games? What's the matter with you guys?
3, Mr. McMurphy. Just 3. Not sufficient to change the ward policy. Now, if that's settled, may we terminate this meeting?
Yeah, let's terminate the lousy meeting.
Dr. Spivey rises and exits. Nurse Ratchet replaces the logbook and exits. The patients put the chairs back, then scatter about the room. Warren helps, then returns to the station.
Listen, Randall, some of us have been here a long time, and some of us will be here a long time after you're gone. A long time after the World Series is over. And don't you see, don't you realize
I don't understand. I don't understand. Honey, what's the matter with you? What are you guys afraid of? Like, are you a bunch of gutless wonders? I don't just leave you on her. Yeah, that's what I ought to do. Bust on out of here and nail the doors shut behind.
Yeah? All right. You're talking so big. Just how would you break out?
40 ways.
Name one.
You think I'm kidding, huh? There. Thing Billy's sitting on, I could throw it through that mesh window.
I don't recall anything about psychopaths being able to move mountains.
Hell, are you telling me I can't lift that dinky thing?
That dinky thing weighs a quarter ton, and it contains all the electrical equipment for the station.
Hell yes, try it, Mac. You'll short circuit the controls and blow the whole damn hospital into orbit.
All right, who's willing to lay $5?
This is more foolhardy than your bet against the big nurse.
$5, you peckerheads! Because nobody's going to convince me I can't do anything until I try. Here, all your IOUs from Blackjack. I'll put up the whole shebang, double or nothing.
You're on.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Stand back, boys. Scanlon, get the women and children someplace safe.
Oh, Mac, are you giving up?
Hell no, just warming up. Here goes the real effort.
This time he throws all his effort into it. Closes his eyes and his lips strain away from his teeth. His head is thrown back, his whole body shaking with the strain. Chief Bromden finds himself moving toward McMurphy in a sort of muscular empathy. The air explodes out of McMurphy's lungs, collapses over the panel. For a few moments there is no sound but his scraping breath. Then he pulls himself to his feet, crosses and picks up the IOUs with clawed and shaking hands, proffers them, but no one makes a move. So he strews them on the floor, turns and makes his way unsteadily toward the dormitory.
Mac, no man could lift that thing.
But I tried, goddammit. I tried.
Lights down fast, but a single shaft on Chief Bromden, and there are sounds and visual effects.
There. The waterfall. How come I hear it, Papa? I hear it and it sounds like in the spring. I see a salmon jump. I smell the snow where the wind is blowing off the peaks. And the tribe out there above the falls. Listen. The way they yell each time they spear a fish. How come, Papa? What's making it come back?
The effects vanish as lights back full. Aide Williams is crossing to hand Chief Bromden his broom.
All right, work time. Get going.
The patients engage in jobs of floor polishing, dusting, etc. Williams closes the chief's hands around the broom handle, starts him moving like an automation. Nurse Ratchet enters the station. We hear a snatch of singing. McMurphy's voice from within the latrine. Williams goes to peer through the latrine's window in suspicion. Suspicion verified. He marches across to the station and taps on the glass. Nurse Ratchet slides back the panel, frowns as Williams mumbles in her ear. She comes out of the station and crosses to the latrine.
Mr. McMurphy? Mr. McMurphy?
Ma'am?
Would you step out here, please?
Boy, she must have had to go in a hurry.
Mr. McMurphy, this is an outrage.
No, ma'am. That is a latrine.
You are supposed to get those fixtures clean.
Well, ma'am, it might not be clean enough for some people, but me, I'm planning to piss in them. Not eat lunch out of them.
I think we'd better give you another job.
Take over, buddy. You guys ready to pay off them IOUs?
You haven't won yet, friend.
McMurphy goes to Chief Bromden, takes a stick of gum out of his pocket.
Oh, does the spearmint lose its flavor on the bedpost every night when you chew it in the morning will be too hard to find.
Visitor, Mr. McMurphy.
Candy Star enters. She's a dish.
McMurphy.
Candy baby.
Oh, damn you, McMurphy.
Please identify your visitor.
She's my goddamn mother. Buddies, this is Candy Star.
Hi, boys. How's every little thing? Hey, Pop, what they got you in for?
Right.
Honey, this is Billy Bibbit. Would you believe it? He's a virgin.
Oh, they lock you up for that.
Come over here and talk to me. How's Sandy?
Tied up. I mean, really, she got married.
Got which?
Can you picture that? Old Sandy married.
Wow. Who to?
You remember Artie from Beaverton? Always used to show up at the parties with some weird thing, a gopher snake or a white rat or some weird thing like that. Jesus, a real maniac.
Well, that's okay, honey. There's a lock razor outside.
You damned McMurphy.
Mr. McMurphy?
Okay!
You all right, baby? I mean, they treating you all right?
Oh, hell yeah. The grub, sensational. The bid they give a man, hey, I want to show you.
Why not?
McMurphy takes her by the hand and is leading her toward the dormitory where the loudspeaker clock's on again.
Mr. McMurphy?
Okay! Here. I think she wants to watch. Listen, honey, I got an idea. Talking about the old parties and all, I bet I could fix it so we could throw one.
You kidding?
Maybe bring Sandra?
I told you old Sandy got married.
Well, she still digs parties.
Oh, sure, but how we get in? Far out.
Mr. McMurphy, I'm afraid you'll have to ask your visitor to leave.
Hey, I just got here.
Later, baby. Say so long to the fellas.
You damn McMurphy. Later, boys.
Nice kid. Comes from a good family.
You're not really going to do it.
Why not?
A party here?
That's the scam.
With candy.
Cute trick, huh? How'd you like to bump bellies with that?
Oh, boy.
My friend, for pure audacity, that proposition wins the analysis Oscar.
I plan to fling the greatest brawl that ever got flung in a loony bin.
Oh, man. We're going to have a party.
We? Who the hell said we?
We're not invited?
No.
But why?
Because I'm fed up with you jerks, that's why. Know what's going on this very minute? The World Series. And you dickheads kept me from seeing it.
Mac, we tried.
Sure. You and Scanlon. All the rest too damn scared to raise their hands.
I'm sorry, Mac. If the matter weren't already closed.
Anything in the rules say you can't vote again?
No, I don't recall that there is.
Well then.
Haven't you gentlemen work to do?
Surely, but right now we got a special meeting of the Patients Council.
Called by whom?
Mr. Dale Darling, President.
That's right, Miss Ratchet.
For what purpose?
For
the purpose of taking a re-vote on changing TV time to the afternoon.
I see.
Okay, boys.
One moment. Do any of you feel perhaps that Mr. McMurphy is imposing his personal desires on you? I've been thinking you might be happier if he were to move to another ward.
You can't send him to Disturb just for bringing up a vote?
That's right.
You're certain one more vote will satisfy you?
I just want to see once and for all which of these birds has any guts and which hasn't.
Very well. Everyone in favor of changing television time to afternoon, raise your hands.
Batter up!
One moment, please. The rules call for a unanimous vote.
Unanimous? You mean you want the chief to vote?
all the patients present on the ward.
So that's how you work that Democratic bull. Of all the crappy things I ever heard!
You seem upset, Mr. McMurphy. I'll have to make a note of that.
Hold on!
The meeting is closed.
Hold on one lousy minute! Chief, Chief, come on out here. Chief, it's now or never. We're men or we're monkeys. We make or we break. Get your hand up now.
Don't be ridiculous. The Boar Man can't even hear you.
Come on, Chief. Get that hand up and vote.
All eyes on the chief. McMurray gives up. In frustration, he slams his cap to the floor, sits in the rocking chair as the others return to their work. Nurse Ratched goes back to the station. The chief begins to raise his hand.
Mac.
Nurse Ratched.
Unanimous. Sit down, you gorgeous monster. Best damn seat in the house.
Okay, let her rip.
Nurse Ratched turns abruptly and goes into the nurse's station. As he swings at a bad pitch, oh my, the count is 3-2 with a tying run on second base. It's the bottom of the sixth. A hit and run situation. Here comes the windup. It's in the station, Nurse Ratched has opened a panel on the wall behind the desk and thrown a switch. The TV cuts off abruptly. McMurphy comes to his feet.
The meeting was closed.
McMurphy starts toward her.
Mac.
You men will now go back to your duties. Did you hear me?
Don't move, Billy. Sit down.
Did you hear me?
The men break and start back to their duties. McMurphy holds his position.
Oh, boy, look at that. It's hit right down the middle.
Run, you mother-loving turkey! Run!
2 bases. 2. Look out. Here comes a throw.
He missed it. Overthrew second.
Going for the love of God. Keep going.
Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, take another base. Take another base.
Stop it. I tell you, go back to your duties. Go back to your duties this instant.
We dropped the ball!
Yes!
Into the outfield!
All the way home, you jerk. Run! Run! Run!
Stop it. Mr. Harding! Mr. Chestwick!
Oh, Nursey. Would you mind bringing me a Red Hot and a can of beer?
Home run!
The men burst into cheers of triumph. Nurse Ratched is shouting at them, quite out of control. Curtain. End of Act 1.
Okay.
Act 2. The day room is empty, but for Ruckley, who stands atop the panel, arms extended with fingers touching, hoop fashion, the shrilling of a referee's whistle, and McMurphy comes charging out, followed by Harding, Cheswick, Scanlon, and Martini. They wear underwear in simulation of gym shorts and are dribbling and passing a basketball. Chief Bromden follows, hovering on the outskirts of the action as though he would like to join in. 2 or 3 baskets are shot through Ruckley's hoop to the accompaniment of joyful yapping.
Snap the ball. Use your elbows, will you? Drive, you puny mothers, drive! Ruckley, how many times I gotta tell you, stand still? It ain't right for the basket to be chasing the ball.
Hey, George!
Martini, there's only 5 men on a team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So don't go hallucinating anymore.
Action as before, the ball being passed to much yipping and yapping. Aid Williams enters, stops short in consternation.
Hey, you can't play basketball in here.
Why not? Uh-huh. Don't tell me. Against ward policy.
You got it.
Oh, shucks. Just when we got an alumni game coming up. Hi, honey. Mind if I take a look at that thing?
Oh, stay back.
I swear I ain't gonna hurt you. I just wanna.
Fuck them all!
The ward opens. Warren enters, followed closely by Nurse Ratched. All are frozen by her presence, and she takes in the scene. Williams looks foolishly from her to the basketball in his hands.
Good game? Please take Mr. Ruckley down. We do have our little difficulties, don't we? But they'll be worked out. After all, we have weeks, months, if necessary, years.
Got her on the ropes. She's groggy, Mac.
Yeah.
All you need is that knockout punch.
I wouldn't have believed it.
Shut up, William. What do you mean by that?
What, Mac?
That year's bit. Come on, why does she act like she's holding aces?
Well, I guess maybe it's because you're committed.
Sure, I'm committed, but my sentence only got 5 months to run or so. Come on, give me the bit.
Mac, it's not like a jail sentence. You see, in jail, you've got a date ahead where you know you'll be set free. But here, if you're committed...
You mean I'm stuck here till she wants me to turn me loose? Hey, then I got as much to lose bugging that old buzzard as you do.
More. I'm voluntary.
You're which?
I'm not committed. As a matter of fact, there aren't many here on the ward who are.
Are you shitting me? Billy, you must be committed. Then why? Why? You're just a young kid. Why aren't you out running around in a convertible cruising for babes? All you guys, why the hell do you stay? You grab, you bitch, how you can't stand this place, can't stand the big nurse, and here all the time, you ain't committed? What's the matter with you? Ain't you got any guts?
Sure, that's it. We haven't got the guts. I could get out of this afternoon. You think I want to stay here? Sure, I like a convertible and a girlfriend. But did you ever have people laughing at you? No. Because you're so tough. I'm not tough. Neither is Harding. Neither is Cheswick. Oh. You talk like we stayed in here because what's the use?
Okay, why didn't you tell me?
What?
That she could keep me here till my dying day.
I guess it didn't occur to us.
That's a lot of crap. Oh, now I get it. Now I see why you guys keep coming at me like I'm Jesus cute Christ. It's because I got everything to lose. And you, wait, how'd you like that? You bastards con me. Con me like a bunch of wackos.
Mac, believe me.
To hell with them. To hell with you. I got plenty of worries of my own without getting hooked on yours. So quit bugging me. All of you. Quit bugging me.
A stunned silence. He makes a decision, goes to the broom closet, opens it, and takes out the toilet brush. Nurse Ratchet, entering with the aides, pauses as she sees Murphy emerge from the closet and start toward the latrine.
Mr. McMurphy, what are you planning to do with that?
Plan to use them, man. Plan to scrub them urinals so clean. We're going to have to wear dark glasses every time we take a pee.
Mr. Harding?
Yes, Miss Ratchet?
Have you gentlemen been reasoning with Mr. McMurphy?
Yes, Miss Ratchet.
Just what did you say?
We explained the therapeutic community.
I see. That's fine, boys.
Crossfade. As people clear, lights go to night lighting on the empty day room. The nurse's station is faintly illuminated from within. Elsewhere, there are only the blue night lights, and moonlight pours through the windows. For a few moments, the stage is deserted. Then Chief Bromden enters from the dormitory. He looks about in a puzzled way, as though someone has called to him. He is drawn to the windows, magnetized by moonlight, raises his head, looking up at the sky, and in the hush is heard the high laughing gabble of wild geese passing overhead. He raises his arms wide, as though to embrace the whole lost world beyond the windows, then folds them about his body. He is standing like that, head thrown back, eyes closed, when McMurphy enters.
All right. Saw you get up and figured maybe you'd come out here to scrape off some of that 1,000-year gum. Took away my canteen privileges, so this is all I got.
Dude.
That's okay. Hey! Try it again. You're a little rusty.
Thank you.
McMurphy starts to laugh, trying to keep the sound down. Chief Brownton goes toward the dormitory, his feelings hurt.
Excuse me, Chief. What I was laughing at, because wise to what you've been doing all these years, biding your time so you could tell them off?
No. No. I'd be afraid.
How's that?
I'm not big enough.
Boy, you are crazy, aren't you? I've been on a few reservations in my life, but you are the biggest damn engine I've ever seen.
My papa was bigger.
Yeah?
He was a full chief. His name was Tia Milatuna. That means the pine that stands tallest on the mountain. But my mother got twice his size.
You must have had a real moose of an old lady.
Oh, she wasn't big that way. She wasn't Indian neither. She was a town woman. Her name was Bromden.
Yeah, I see. I think I see what you're getting at. When a town woman marries an Indian, that's marrying beneath her, ain't it? And your papa had to take her name?
She said she wouldn't be married to no man with a name like Tia Milatuna. But it wasn't only her that made him little. Everybody worked on him. The way they're working on you.
Hey, who?
The Combine. It wanted us to go live someplace else. It wanted to take away our waterfall. In town, they beat up Papa in the alleys and cut off his hair. Oh, the Combine's big. Big. He fought it long time till my mother made him too little to fight anymore. And he signed the papers.
What papers, Chief?
The ones that gave everything to the government. The village, the falls.
I remember. But I heard the tribe got paid some huge amount.
That's what the government guy said. There's a whole big pot of money. And Papa said, what can you pay for the way a man lives? What can you pay for his right to be an Indian? He didn't understand. Neither did the tribe. They stood in front of our door holding those checks, asking, what should we do now? Papa couldn't tell him because he was too little and too drunk.
What happened to him?
He kept drinking till he died. They found him in an alley and threw dirt in his eyes. The Combine whipped him. It beats everybody.
Now, wait a minute.
Yes. Yes, it does. Oh, they don't bust you outright. They work on you, ways you can't even see. They get hold of you and they install things.
Take it easy, buddy.
And if you fight, they lock you up someplace and they make you stop and...
Cool it.
They've been talking crazy.
Well, yeah.
Don't make sense.
Well, as that...
Hear them?
And a honker's flying south. It'll be an early winter, Chief. Well, there they go. Right across the moon.
Wire. Briar. Limber rock.
Huh?
It's an old children's rhyme. My grandmama taught it to me.
Oh, Lord, yes, I remember. You played with your fingers. Hold out your hand, Chief. Wild briar limberlock.
3 geese in a flock.
One flew east.
1 flew west.
And one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
O-U-T spells out.
Goose swoops down and plucks you out.
McMurphy, you gonna crawfish? I mean, you gonna back down?
Oh, what's the difference?
Are you?
Hey, remember when I tried to lift that thing? I bet you could do it.
I'm too little.
Why don't you give it a try?
I'm not big enough.
How do you know? Maybe one sure way to find out. Well, when you're ready, I might book on it. Oh, Lord, that'd be a killing.
McMurphy, make me big again.
Well, hell, Chief, looks like you growed half a foot already.
How can I be big if you ain't? How can anybody?
Crossfade to daylight. Nurse Flynn is in the station.
Council meeting. Patients, council meeting.
Air to ground! Air to ground! Enemy sighted! 3 o'clock! Enemy planes at 3 o'clock!
Knock it off, Martini. No one's there. No one there, I tell you. Now stop it. There's no one there.
Don't you see them? Don't you see them?
The others enter.
I thought I saw them.
The others enter. Their attitude is subdued, brooding. The chief sits in the rocking chair. McMurphy enters, head down, and seats himself too. Warren and Williams enter with almost military precision, preceding Nurse Ratchet.
Boys, I've given a great deal of thought to what I'm about to say. I've talked it over with the staff, and we all came to the same conclusion, that there should be some sort of form of punishment for the unspeakable behavior of yesterday. Most of you are here because you could not adjust to the outside world. You broke the rules of society. At some point, in your childhood, perhaps, you were allowed to get away with that. But when you broke a rule, you knew it. You wanted to be punished, needed it. But the punishment did not come. That leniency on the part of your parents may have been the germ of your present illness. I remind you of this, hoping you will understand that it is entirely for your own good that we enforce discipline. Is there any comment? Then I assume you understand me and agree. You also understand that it is difficult to enforce discipline in these surroundings. After all, what can we do to you? You can't be arrested. You can't be sent to an institution. You're already here. All we can do is take away privileges. And so, after carefully considering the circumstances, we have decided to take away certain privileges which encouraged the rebellion to happen. First, for 30 days, there will be no viewing of the television.
Oh.
Second, the privilege of playing cards during recreation hours is hereby rescinded.
Excuse me.
Is that all?
Not quite. There is one more matter. The behavior of a patient who has been here almost as long as I, longer, I believe, than any of you. You know, of course, to whom I refer. Mr. Bromden, long ago, was diagnosed as catatonic. And for that reason, because it was assumed he could not communicate, we gave him up. We forgot poor Mr. Bromden. That was wrong of us. But Mr. Bromden acted wrongly too. Please don't misunderstand. We are happy to know that Mr. Bromden can be reached, but disappointed to learn he would conceal it from us, thereby refusing to cooperate in his own cure. And if Mr. Bromden can hear, isn't it logical to assume that he can also speak? I think Mr. Bromden should speak to us. Don't you? His first contribution to group therapy. And how appropriate if those first works were an apology. An apology for the behavior that made yesterday's rebellion.
McMurphy!
Nurse Ratchet snaps her fingers, and Warren comes across toward the trembling, retreating Chief Bromden. McMurphy's foot comes out, operating independently of his will, and Warren trips over it and crashes to the floor.
Mr. McMurphy!
Man, you begging for it.
Let him alone.
Mr. McMurphy, I'm warning you.
Come on, you bastard. I've been waiting for this. Come on, stand up. Ugh.
Blackout. The alarm bell sounds. The alarm bell continues fading as a tight pool of light reveals the electroshock table being readied by a technician who hums as he works. This may be Dr. Spivey, if preferred. McMurphy, then Bromden, are pushed roughly into the area by the aides. Both are in straitjackets. McMurphy begins to chuckle. Chief Bromden looks at him uncertainly.
Jesus, that look at Warren's face. That look when you threw the old bear hug on him. Oh, come on, Chief. Why don't you laugh right out loud? You gotta laugh, especially when things ain't funny. That's the ticket. That's the way you keep yourself in balance. Hey, you know something? You're getting bigger. Look at that foot. Size of a flat car. Keep growing that way, and pretty soon they'll have to spring you. And there'll be big Chief Bromden cutting down the boulevard. Men, women, and kids rocking back on their heels to tear them up out there. Well, what giants this here? Taking 10 feet at a step and ducking for telephone wires? Come stomping through town. Stops just long enough for virgins. The rest of you twitches don't even bother lining up.
What's so amusing?
I ain't sure you'd get the point.
Don't you boys feel sorry for what you did?
Oh, I don't guess so. So whatever you're going to do, get on with it.
We had a meeting, Randall. The staff agreed it might be beneficial if you were to receive shock therapy. But we won't, provided you're prepared to admit your mistakes.
You got a paper I can sign?
A paper?
Yeah. Then you can add some other things, like how I'm part of a plot to overthrow the government, and how I think life on the ward is the sweetest fucking thing this side of Hawaii.
Randall, we're trying to help you.
Do I get my pants slit? You're gonna shave my head? Don't be scared, Chief. I'll go first. They can't hurt me. They can't hurt you. What's that? Jim Reed, detective. What's that?
Conducting.
Anointest my head with conducting. Do I get a crown of thrones?
Papa.
Don't holler, Chief. Or if you got to holler, make it guts ball.
Guts ball.
That ends it. Oh boy, I do get a crown.
Gutsball, Gutsball.
Why, brow Lindlock, these geese in a flock. One flew east, one flew west.
Clear.
Gutsball!
A blaze of white light, McMurphy's body snaps into rigid arcs. Sound. An electronic scream with voice within it shouting, "Air raid, air raid." The lights dim out. The sounds fade, cross-blending into
That part, it's fine. Lights to fall in the day room.
Mintra, corn, apple seed and apple thorn, wire briar, limberlock, 3 geese in a flock. One flew east, one flew west, and one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Lights to full on a day room. Harding, Martini, Billy, Cheswick, and Scanlon are there. And Ruckley, in his usual position, the men are mumbling intensely among themselves. They break off as Nurse Ratchet and Dr. Spivey enter, moving briskly. Nurse
Well-
Ratchet. Oh, sorry.
May I, Doctor? Gentlemen, we've come from the Treasurer's office, and we have here a memorandum of extreme interest. It concerns patient Randall McMurphy.
Yeah. We're gonna get him up and disturbed.
No, Mr. Scanlon. He is in the recovery room and will be back very shortly. This, gentleman, is a record of Mr. McMurphy's gains in the short time he has been croupier of this little Monte Carlo here on the ward. How much did you lose, Billy? Mr. Harding? I think you all have some idea of what your personal losses were. But do you know what Mr. McMurphy's winnings come to? According to deposits he has made, over $300. I just thought it would be better if there were no delusions about his motives.
Miss Ratchet, he never made any pretense about his motives.
Right.
Yeah, said he was gonna take us out. By God, he done it.
Hey, Mac.
McMurphy and Bromden are pushed into the room by the aides. Both stand slack-bodied, as though they'd been wiped out by the EST. Then McMurphy steps out of the shamming.
Stand back, you peckerheads. Here comes the old champ. Old McMurphy, the 10,000-watt psychopath. Howdy, buddies. Howdy, Doc. Miss Rat Shit. And here, ladies and gentlemen, right here in front of your eyes, the wild man who dotes on high voltage and eats 3 eggs for breakfast each and every morning.
Mr. McMurphy, we are in the middle of a meeting.
Oh, do continue. Who are we tearing up today?
Since you found it so enjoyable, perhaps a few more treatments?
Oh, please, man. Look at the good a few shot bolts have done. I bet if you doubled the charge, I could pick up Channel 8.
Doctor?
Miss Ratchet?
I'd like to withdraw that suggestion as to further shock.
Oh.
Yes, I think it might be appropriate to consider surgical procedure?
Ma'am?
An operation. Quite simple, really. We've had an excellent record in aggressive cases.
Aggressive? Why, ma'am, I'm friendly as a pup. There's no cause to do any cutting.
Randall, there's no cutting involved. We simply...
Besides, it wouldn't do no good to lock them off. I got another pair at home. big as baseballs.
One moment, Doctor. I should like to return to the subject.
What subject?
The question of surgical procedure for patient McMurphy.
Not warranted except in cases of uncontrollable violence.
He has exhibited violence.
Shall we say there was a certain provocation? No, Miss Ratched, since you have brought up the matter in group rather than staff, I shall state my opinion. I do not approve of a surgical procedure in the absence of recurrent violence.
And if it should recur?
Then we may reconsider. Mr. McMurphy, I would bear that in mind.
Behave yourself, boys.
Do change your mind about those treatments, man. I just adore your little battery charger. What was that stuff about surgical procedure?
I guess she means lobotomy.
What's that?
Well, you might call it a kind of castration of the brain.
Oh, okay. What's it do to you?
They say he used to be a real rough character.
Jesus.
Yeah, Mac, we've been talking it over, the boys and I. We think you ought to get out of here.
Get out of here.
Right. We figure there's a way, as soon as it gets dark tonight, I set fire to my mattress. We make a holler, and when the firemen come, and they're going to leave the door open, aren't they? Then we rush you out.
Boys, it's as good as a TV show, and I thank you. But if I went, I'd miss the party.
Party?
You forgotten?
Holy cow!
You wouldn't want me to miss Billy cashing in on his virginity.
But Mac.
Don't worry, boys. Tonight them windows will be open, so I can sashay right on out. You make it a going away party, huh? Whoops. Cool.
Supper time, gentlemen. Move your feet.
Take vitamins, Billy. Because I'm warning you, that Candy girl. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Matt, you're on mute.
No, I'm not. Oh, man.
Now, don't go bashful on me. I'm betting you burn that woman down.
That's right. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to burn her down.
Hey, you got any bread?
How much?
About $50.
50? What for?
Well, Candy's laying out for liquor, and there's old Turkle to take care of him. Why the hell are you looking down your nose like that?
So I'm thinking Miss Ratched said.
What'd she say?
How you were always coming out ahead. Always winning things.
Winning. Oh, boy. Winning.
Lights dim. Night lighting. Aide Turkle enters the deserted room from the outer corridor. After making sure that he's alone, he sits, lights up a marijuana joint, and takes a deep drag. Cheswick comes creeping out of the dorm.
Lord help me. I thought you was a snake.
She showed up yet?
She who?
Candy.
I don't know nothing about no Candy.
Max said she made a deal with you.
I ain't got the slightest inclination what you talking about.
Don't go away.
I ain't going nowhere.
McMurphy emerges with Cheswick at his shoulder.
Turkey, old boy. What's the beef?
Ain't no beef.
So?
Ain't no money changed hands either.
There you are. Big, borrowed, and stole.
Mm-hmm. And you know they finna fire my ass if they found out about this.
She's bringing liquor, Turkey.
Yeah?
Bottle of scotch and one of vodka. Which do you want?
Sort of like them both.
Hey, what are we supposed to drink?
You ain't supposed to drink at all.
Any sign?
Nary a sign.
Oh boy, am I stupid! How are they going to find the right window in the dark? Turn on the lights.
Hey, wait, now hold on. Now that's dangerous. Now, Miss Ratchet, she see the wood lit up.
Come on, Turkey, she's asleep.
That old shit poke never sleep.
The lights go on, and Harding and the other acutes come piling out of the dormitory.
Hey, where's the party?
In there.
Oh, boy.
Give me the window key.
I ain't supposed to let these keys off no.
Gimme!
There better be some good liquor.
I'll open the window, huh?
She walks in beauty.
Let her in! Let this mad stud at her.
Look, Murphy, wait.
Don't you Murphy me, Billy boy. It's too late to back down.
Candy is climbing through the window, helped by Harding and Scanlon, impeded by the bottles she carries in each hand. She's quite tipsy.
You damn McMurphy. Hey, what the hell?
It's okay, baby. What happened to this one?
We got the rest of it right here.
We?
Oh, Lordy, I forgot Sandra's out there. Hiya, Mac.
Sandy, baby. What'd you do with your husband?
That creep? She up and left him, ain't that a hoot? Listen, you can take just so many funsies like ants in your pants and frogs down your bra. Jesus, what a creep. Hello, Billy.
Hello. Yeah.
Never mind. Ouch!
You okay, baby?
Somebody pinched my ass.
I gotta find something for us to drink. Cheslin, give me something to mix it in.
Woo, you candy girl. Is this for real? I mean, are we in an asylum? Tell the truth. Are you really nuts?
Absolutely, madam. We are psychoceramics, the crackpots of humanity. Would you like me to decipher our Rorschach?
Cheswick rolls in a stand with an enema bag with tube attached.
Cocktail shaker.
Medication.
Artificial coloring, citric acid, 60% inert materials.
22% alcohol.
10% codeine. Warning, maybe habit forming.
Nothing like a good bad habit.
Tincture of Nux vomica.
That'll give it body.
And here's some cups.
We cut it a little bit.
Jeez, what a blast. Is this really happening?
No, ma'am. The whole thing is collaboration between Franz Kafka and Mark Twain.
Bar's open.
Interesting.
Tastes like cough medicine. Excuse me, I got a tinkle.
You know, this stuff gives one the feeling of
No more rabbits.
Old friend, you have taught me that mental illness can have the aspect of power. Perhaps the more insane a man is, the more powerful he can become.
Sure. Hitler.
There is a scream, and Sander comes running from the dormitory with Ruckley in pursuit.
Fuck 'em all!
This place is dangerous.
Wrong way, lady.
Martini is in the station, fiddling with the tape machine. Now it comes out. Music.
Come on, Billy.
How about the seclusion room?
Sure. Place is one big mattress.
One moment. Shall we send them off without benefit of ceremony? Come, children, here before me. Mac, will you bring Ruckley? We need to send. Dearly beloved, we are gathered in the sight of Freud to celebrate the end of innocence and to cheer on its demise. Who stands sponsor for the Benedict?
R.P. McMurphy.
And for the bride?
Me.
Very well then. Do you, Candy Star, take this man to love and cherish for such brief time as rules and regulations may allow?
I do.
Do you, Billy Bibbit, take this woman to have and hold until night shift changes and our revels end?
I do. I do.
He does.
Most merciful God, we ask that you accept these two into your kingdom with your well-known compassion, and keep the door ajar for all the rest of us, for this may be our final fling, and we are doomed, henceforth, to the terrible burden of sanity. As comes the dawn, we shall most assuredly be lined up against the wall and fired upon with bullets of Paxil, Prozac, Thorazine. Go, my children, sin while ye may, for tomorrow ye shall be tranquilized.
Candy and Billy kiss. They exit to singing of the wedding march under an arch formed by Cheswick and Scanlon's arms.
Mr. Ruckley, you did a fine job. Sandra, baby.
Well, it was so damn beautiful.
Mac, we're sure going to miss you.
Why don't you come along?
I'll be going soon, but I've got to do it my own way. Sign the papers. Call my wife and say, pick me up at a certain time. You understand.
Sure, but what is it with you guys?
You mean what drove us here in the first place? Oh, I don't know. It's a lot of theories, but I do know what drives people like you. Strong people. Crazy.
Okay. What?
People like us.
Bull.
Oh, yes, my friend.
Hey, what's happening to the party? Drink up, you mother-loving loonies. This is Big Mac King and Bar, and when he pours, let no man. What are you doing declaring war?
My tribe never made war on nobody.
The sorry damn tribe.
Maybe that was our mistake. We should have. Woo!
He whoops again, pleased with the sound, then goes into a shuffling war dance, accompanying himself with chanted Indian gutturals. The others fall delightedly into the line and becomes a snake dance, weaving its noisy way around the room. Nurse Ratchet enters from the corridor and stands frozen in incredulity.
Incredulity.
Yeah, whatever. She is there some moments before anyone becomes aware.
Hi, kid. You got room for one more?
Nurse Cratchit flees. Harding drops out of the dance.
Stop! Quiet! Shut up, everybody! What was that? Did I see?
I asked her to stay.
Oh, God, she went to get help. Mac, you've got to get out of here.
Okay. As soon as I say goodbye to my buddies.
In a hurry.
I don't know about him, but I'm gonna drag ass.
Sandy!
You coming, Mac?
Best damn buddies I ever had.
Don't hang around.
You gonna be all right? Because if you ain't, I'll hear about it and I'll come busting back into this place.
Come on, Mac.
Okay, all right.
Warren and Williams, not quite fully dressed, come in fast. Nurse Ratchet is close behind.
Stand still, everyone. Just remain right where you are. Warren, room check. Williams, get this place in order. So we've had a party. Thrown, no doubt, by Mr. McMurphy? I wonder, was there some sort of profit in it?
Oh, very smart. Trying to bug me till I blow. Well, shove it, lady, because I'm hip.
Warren pushes Billy and Candy on stage. They are disheveled and confused, covering their eyes against the light. McMurphy stops dead at the window.
Where were they?
Seclusion room on the floor.
William? Bibbit? Oh, Billy, I'm so ashamed.
I'm not.
That's it, Billy.
The others erupt into cheers.
Be silent!
Billy!
Oh, Billy. A woman like this?
Like what?
A cheap, low, painted.
She's not. She's good and sweet and
Got him all, Billy.
Hey.
Look at her!
Black!
leave her alone.
Billy, have you thought about your poor mother? How your poor mother's going to take this? She's always been so proud of your decency. You know what this is going to do to her. You know, don't you?
No. You don't. You don't.
Don't need to tell her? How could I not?
Don't tell him this.
Billy,
Don't.
I have to. I have to tell her that you were found on the floor of the seclusion room with this prostitute. That you and she.
No, I didn't. I mean, she made me do it.
I can't believe she pulled you in there forcibly.
It was the others. They made fun of me.
Who?
They teased me. They called me names.
Who, Billy?
McMurphy. It was McMurphy.
Billy.
All right, Billy. No one will hurt you. I want you to go to Mr. Spivey's office. Wait for him there. You'll be needing attention.
Miss Ratchet. You're not going to tell my mother.
It's all right, Billy. It's going to be all right.
McMurphy!
And you, miss, if you're not out of here within 10 minutes, I will have you jailed as a common prostitute.
You coming back?
Aren't you? There's no reason to stay. You've already plundered these poor sick people of everything they had. So run, Mr. McMurphy. Get out while the getting's good. Save your own skin, Mr. McMurphy. There's no more profit to be made out of these helpless, mentally ill.
That's Ratchet. Oh my God, that's Ratchet.
Nobody's blaming you, Mac.
That's right. Nobody's blaming you.
McMurphy looks at them one by one, and their eyes won't meet his. He sits slowly, waiting for what is to come.
He cut his throat. He went into the doctor's desk and found an instrument, and he cut his throat. The poor boy has killed himself. He's in there now, in the doctor's chair with his throat cut. I hope you're satisfied. Playing with human lives. Gambling with human lives as though you were God. Are you God, Mr. McMurphy? Somehow, I don't think you are God.
No, Mac. It's what she wants.
Don't you think I know it?
Come on, Mr. McMurphy. Mr. Big, strong, masculine.
I don't know what happened to Jim.
Yeah, where'd you go?
He reaches out and rips her uniform down her front. Her knee comes up viciously, and McMurphy barely eludes it. Nurse Ratchet screams. The scream cuts off as his hand locks around her throat. The cry is caught up and continued in Chief Brondam's throat as he spins away. A single light stabs down at him as all the other lights black out. There's a hissing sound and then a thudding of a black machine with electronic counterpoint.
Papa, they got to me again. They got the wires on me and they're giving orders. Go right, go left, do this, do that. Sign the papers 20 times and don't step on the grass. Where can I run? How can I get away? Papa, there's no place to hide no more. No place to hide.
Lights come up on the day room. It is post supper. Chief Bromden is hunched in a catatonic state. Harding is at the card table dealing blackjack to Cheswick, Scanlon, and Martini.
Hey ya, come on, suckers. The game is 21. Hit you or sit you? What do you want to do, Scanlon?
I wasn't paying any mind.
Well, pay some mind.
Gosh, if only we knew where they got him, what they're doing. Down there a whole week now.
Hey, what a guy down in the dining room told me. He says McMurphy knocked out 2 aides and took their keys and escaped.
Oh, it sounds like Mac.
What ward was your informant from?
Starved.
Somebody told me they caught him, sent him back to the work farm.
Who?
Somebody.
And a loony down in occupational therapy told me that McMurphy had sprouted wings and was last seen soaring circles overhead, defecating on the hospital.
Honest?
Warren enters, harbinger for Nurse Ratched, who is close behind. Nurse Ratched wears a cervical collar. Her manner has changed, warlier, and her eyes are nervous. Williams appears in the doorway, waiting.
Isn't it past your bedtime?
Miss Ratched, what we want to know.
Is McMurphy coming back? I think we have a right.
I agree, Mr. Harding. He will be back. Don't you believe me?
Lady, we think you're full of bull.
I assure you, Mr. McMurphy will be back. Now I think it's time you were in bed. Bring him in. That's fine, boys. That's just fine.
Chief Bromden emerges from the shadows and studies the figure. From the dormitory, Cheswick enters, then Scanlon and Martini. Cheswick, the foot of the gurney, lifts the chart that hangs there and holds it to the light.
What's it say?
McMurphy, Randall Patrick. Post-operative prefrontal lobotomy.
So they done it.
That ain't McMurphy.
No?
Some dummy they rigged up.
Think so?
Yeah. Factory made.
I bet he's right.
They done a pretty fair job. Say, even the busted nose.
Well, they can do noses.
Look, his eyes is open.
All smoked up.
Nobody inside.
How stupid does that old bitch think we are?
Gee, I wish McMurphy would come back.
Hey, remember the time he pinched Miss Ratched on the ass and said he was just trying to stay in touch?
Yeah. Them things he'd write in the logbook. Madam, do you wear a B cup or a C cup or any old cup at all?
Do you remember the time that little nurse?
The one that wears a cross?
Yeah, she dropped the pill down the front of her uniform and McMurphy tried to get it out and she hollers.
Don't touch me, don't touch me, I'm a Catholic.
Chief Bromden moves at last, approaching the gurney. He gazes down at McMurphy's a long time. Then he slides the pillow from under McMurphy's head and presses it down on his face. McMurphy's body jerks and thrashes, fighting with indomitable vitality. Ramdan is crying now. The tears roll down his cheeks, but he keeps the pressure on the pillow until the body subsides. At last, gives up resistance. Now it is quiet, unalive. Harding, in pajamas and robe, enters from the dormitory. He has been awakened and is angry.
What in the hell is going on? They come in cackling like a pack of geese. How is a man ever going to get any sleep if... Chief? Chief, let go! Let go! Oh, Christ, Jesus! I've still got the key. All right, Chief. Chief, do you hear me? If you're gone, they can't prove anything. I mean, anybody can die post-operative. It happens all the time. We won't tell. But the big nurse, she'll look at you. She'll ask questions, and you'll talk.
Shit, I do.
Beat it.
Out there?
Yeah, flag a ride on the highway. Head north to Canada. We'll say he was alive after you busted out.
I'm afraid.
Chief!
I can't do it. I'm not big enough.
You're as big as you're gonna get.
Oh. No, McMurphy said. He says...
Chief, what are you doing?
McMurphy said...
He knocks Harding aside, heaves on the panel. Nothing. He takes a deep breath, tries again. There comes a cracking sound, a rippling sound, and a screeching as the panel breaks loose. High voltage cables snap. There are brilliant blue-white bursts of light and the snarling sound of short circuits. The night lights and the lights in the station go out. The harsh emergency lights go on. In the distance, an alarm bell sets up a clamor.
Christ, they'll come with an army.
I done it! I done it, Harding!
Okay, Chief, go! You're gonna make it out there.
Yeah. I've been away a long time.
He slides slightly through the window, and it is gone. Harding closes the grill, drops the key outside, comes down, picks up the pillow and restores it to the cushion McMurphy's head. He straightens the disarranged sheet and blanket. Satisfied, he throws a little salute to McMurphy's body and exits into the dormitory. The lights dim. Last of all, the single shaft on McMurphy's body dims out, and the bell stops with clamor as curtain falls. The end.